The algae are the oldest and most widely distributed form of plant life. They range in size from the large ocean kelps to microscopic single-celled forms. A single drop of pond water may contain thousands of these simple plants. Microscopic algae in great quantities form the familiar scum on ponds. And in ditches. Other algae are found in streams and on rocks in moist places. Algae, such as the microscopic oscillatoria, live in and on the soil. Some algae live in association with other organisms. Lichens consist of algae living in association with fungi. This alga lives on the back of a snail. So there are many kinds of algae living in a variety of environments. Five major groups of algae are the green, blue-green, diatoms, red, and brown. The green algae have cells with a distinct nucleus and produce starch in one or more plastids containing chlorophyll. The nucleus is evident in Clostridium. And in Spirogyra. This is the spirochloroplast of Spirogyra. Green algae occur in a variety of forms. Many of the freshwater forms are single-celled, for example, microsterias. Some are colonies of cells, such as volvox. And pediastrum. While other green algae are filaments. Some are simple filaments. Others are branched filaments. The ocean forms of green algae also vary considerably in appearance. For example, ulva is sheet-like, while others are filamentous. And feathery. The blue-green algae contain chlorophyll and accessory blue and red photosynthetic pigments. They are the only algae that do not have a true nucleus or plastids. Some blue-green algae, such as Croococcus, may be single-celled or in colonies of 2, 4, or more. Glyocapsa is single-celled or colonial. Its cells, as in many other blue-green algae, are embedded in a gelatinous secretion. Many blue-green algae are filamentous, for example, nostoc. Cylindrospermum. And Gliotrichia. Notice the movement of this blue-green alga, spirulina. It rotates on its axis, twists, and turns, but how this movement is accomplished is as yet unexplained. The diatoms contain chlorophyll and an accessory photosynthetic pigment which gives them their characteristic brown color. They store oil rather than starch, and their walls are of silicon dioxide rather than cellulose. Some diatoms move about on treads of moving cytoplasm. Others are attached and non-motile. The red algae contain red and blue pigments in addition to chlorophyll. They are found chiefly in the ocean. Red algae may be sheet-like, but the majority are filaments that are clustered into a variety of forms. Almost all of the brown algae are found in the ocean. They vary greatly in form and size. Some are small filaments. Others are large and sheet-like. Algae perform all the life functions associated with living things. They reproduce both sexually and asexually. One type of asexual reproduction is fission. During fission, one cell divides into two. The alga cosmerium is dividing by fission, as seen by time-lapse photography. Some algae, such as Clodophora, reproduce asexually by motile spores. The spores escape through a small pore in the cell wall. Eventually, each spore grows into a new plant. Another type of asexual reproduction is fragmentation, shown here by oscillatoria. An occasional cell dies, producing a weak place in the filament where a break occurs. Colonial forms of algae reproduce asexually by daughter colony formation. For example, Volvox produces daughter colonies which eventually escape and swim away. Many algae reproduce sexually. During sexual reproduction, there is a fusion of two gametes. In Chlamydomonas, the organisms first clump together. Then they pair. The Chlamydomonas cells function as gametes and are alike in appearance and motility. The protoplasts of the paired Chlamydomonas fuse to form a zygote. After the zygote matures, new cells are formed within it. The zygote eventually breaks open and the cells are released. In Cosmerium, two organisms pair and the cell contents escape from the enclosing walls, as seen here by time-lapse photography. Fusion of the cell contents forms a zygote. Later, the zygote becomes round and forms a wall with spines. After a period of time, new cells are formed from the zygote. This lower magnification shows on the right 2 gametes fusing. And on the left, a zygote developing spines. In the green alga spirogyra, 2 filaments pair, and their cells are joined by the extension of the cell walls forming tubes. The 2 gametes are alike in appearance, but only one moves, as seen here by time-lapse photography. The resulting zygote, after meiotic division, produces a new filament. The alga uterina produces sperm and eggs within separate colonies. These are bundles of sperm within a male colony. These bundles of sperm are released from the male colonies and swim to the female colonies. The cells within the female colonies act as eggs. Here, one of the bundles of sperm has contacted the gelatinous envelope of the female colony. As the bundle of sperm penetrates the female colony, the bundle breaks up, and the individual sperm slowly swim about the eggs. Eventually, the sperm will fertilize the eggs, forming zygotes. In Oedogonium, the gametes differ considerably in both size and motility. The sperm are small and motile, while the eggs are large and non-motile. When ready for fertilization, the female cell develops an opening. The sperm moves through the opening and fertilizes the egg. The movement of the sperm through the opening is seen here by normal speed photography. The resulting zygote develops a thick wall. After a period of dormancy, each zygote produces 4 cells, each of which swims away and forms a new plant. Algae are of great ecological and economic importance. They are the ultimate source of food for all aquatic animals. Although many algae are of benefit to man, some algae are obnoxious. For example, the flagellate cyanura forms an oil which gives a fishy taste to drinking water. Man makes direct use of algae in many ways. For example, these various forms of microsterias were produced during genetic studies. The alga chlorella is used in photosynthesis studies and is a possible food source for space flights. The extracts of laminaria and other algae are used to stabilize substances in food such as chocolate and milk. These are fossil diatom walls or diatomaceous earth, which is used in filters, metal polishes, and insulation. Huge deposits of diatomaceous earth, thousands of feet thick, are found in California. These enormous quantities of diatoms were deposited in the seas millions of years ago, and today diatoms are still one of the most abundant organisms in the world. The algae are among the earliest organisms to inhabit the earth and have continued to be successful in many habitats. As primary producers of food by photosynthesis, algae form the base of the food web involving a variety of living things.